Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday night. I hope you all are doing good. I am Kat, the nurse flipper, joined by Rod, my co-host, picking and punching. And below us, they've both been on. It's been a little while. I have Mike, Golden State Picker, and then catty corner to me is Amber Resells. So I'm going to make both of them big for you guys. Let them introduce themselves. Their links will be put in the chat and they're down in the description as well. So here's Mike.
Hello, everybody. Mike, the Golden State Picker. I'm out of California, and I am also out of North Carolina because I have a home on the East Coast also.
That's it? Okay.
Okay, well, I mean, and I'll tell you what. I specialize in eBay, but I also do Amazon FBA books, so it's a 50-50 split between the two. So I am on both of those platforms.
Perfect. Here is Miss Amber.
Hey guys, my name's Amber. On social media, I go by Amber Resells. I live in Iowa, so Mike's got the coast. I've got the Midwest. I work full-time as an actuary, and I sell online for fun and a little bit of extra money. Sell on Poshmark and eBay, and I started off just selling clothing and shoes, but over the last couple of years, I've spread out to other categories. Just recently, I sold a clock and a foam corn head. So just pointing out that I don't just do clothing anymore, but I still know the most about clothing. And I make YouTube videos. Well, I used to make YouTube videos. I kind of make YouTube videos now once every few months. Yeah, I think that's an introduction for me.
Perfect. Yeah, I saw, are you like just getting back started into making them? Like, do you plan on making them more again now? Like,
yeah, so I have a toddler for those that don't, I mean, most of you don't know that. And that's kind of the thing that's made YouTube hard is since having a toddler, she takes up a lot of time. So, I mean, I would love to be consistent, but I'm just trying to find something that works with, you know, the new routine.
Yeah, it's definitely a different ball game when you have a little one running around. Mine is behind me on the floor. He's not very little anymore. He will be 6 in a month.
Wow.
Which is absolutely
my daughter's almost
crazy. It's so crazy because last time you were on, you were pregnant.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes.
All right, let's see. Laura has the first question tonight, and she said, how long have you waited before you canceled an item for non-payment? I canceled an order today that was purchased on the 10th, and I reached out to them twice.
I haven't had that problem ever since. I shouldn't say I have had the problem, but for example, I've had a couple of globals in the last week that have been non-payment, which is strange. One I sold yesterday, and they said they were going to pay Friday, and I'm like, that was Monday, and so they're going to wait. But generally, I don't wait too long. I go no more than 4 or 5 days, and then I will cancel it out. I'll give them every chance, but then at that point, it's like you're gone. And I think you got to be really careful to make sure your item gets relisted back up once that happens, because sometimes that it drops and it doesn't, and you think you did and it doesn't. So be careful.
And I cancel and relist it pretty much as soon as I can. If they haven't paid, what is it, 3 days or 4 days?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Fortunately, it's been quite a while since I've had a non-payment, which I don't know what. I know they've been changing things to try to make that better, and I haven't had one for at least a few months.
I rarely have that issue anymore. I don't think. I've been pretty happy with what's been going on. Payment seems to be instant. Few things here and there, but mostly global when I see it.
So I have the automated. So there's an automated button you can put on. You can turn on. So if someone doesn't pay after, I think it's after like 3 or 4 days, it automatically sends them a payment reminder and automatically would end up eventually canceling, or you have the option to cancel it. So I only wait like 3 or 4 days. If they don't pay, I'm going to relist it, because any day that my item's off the platform is a day I'm not making any sales. So if they're not going to pay, but I will give people the benefit of the doubt. Like I just said, someone bought something today. Actually, someone bought something yesterday, just like Mike, and said that I'm going to pay on Friday. I just wish they would send me a message first instead of buying the item and then tell me after when they're going to pay. Because because it's one of those things I would rather tell the buyer, yeah, I'll keep the item up. I'll send you the same offer on Friday when you're ready to pay. But I'd rather not have my item removed off eBay, and then half the time they don't end up not paying anyway. So
yeah, that's the thing. Like you said,
Yeah.
tell me before, right?
Yeah.
Give me a heads up, and I can work with you somehow. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I tell them, like, I have the automatic cancellation at 4 days,
Yeah.
but it's weird because it doesn't always cancel.
Correct.
Like, sometimes it'll just sit there and I have to catch it, but I do have that set up. So I'll tell people if I get that message, like that they can't pay till the 1st, say today's the 18th, I'll tell them eBay gives 4 days. So 4 days before they can pay, they're welcome to send an offer. But I would hate it to get, they purchase it, it gets canceled, then they get a ding on their account. So I just tell them to wait until it's in the 4 days. And I had somebody recently that did it twice. He asked me to cancel. He said something was wrong with his bank account, so I canceled. Then the sucker bought it again and didn't pay again. And the second time I did not cancel it for him, because he knew he was going to get those dings, and he asked me to cancel the first time. But the second, like one time, okay, but a second time a week later, don't buy it if you don't have the money. That's kind of my thing, wait until you have the money and see whether it'll work or not as far as the order.
We had a little follow-up question.
Yeah, so Jules in Crime says, how is it possible for someone to buy something but not pay? If they didn't pay, doesn't that mean they didn't buy it? There's supposed to be a new thing that if they buy it and haven't paid, it stays listed. I'm not 100% sure how that works.
It doesn't always happen like that. So it will. I just recently, I had 2 items. I sold 2 items in the past week. One of those items is still listed on eBay because it says it's pending payment right now because the buyer hasn't paid yet. And then my other item, the buyer bought it, it's removed off eBay, but it's still waiting for them to get payment because they're supposed to be switching everything to when you make an offer, it automatically going to bill your credit card right away, but it hasn't fully rolled out to all the listings yet.
I have had very little issue. I just recently, like I said, with global shipping, I mean, almost all of mine have all been automatic payments. I mean, been very happy with that. I did get somebody, I got a funny story. I got somebody from Australia who purchased something, came back at me and said, hey, it was a notebook by Tiffany. And she said, is this a notebook that you write in after the purchase? I'm like, yeah, but here's the kicker. She wanted to know if I could get the shipping down or if I was coming to Australia anytime soon. Literally, she wanted to know. It's going to be one of my videos.
Sure, I'll be there next week for my monthly
that's
trip.
What she asked me. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You bought this and you're asking all these questions out. They lose track that it costs extra. You live in Australia, you live in Great Britain. It's going to cost you extra to get this. It's not, and I have no control over those things.
Well,
Australia is the most expensive I've seen for shipping.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to too is I don't know if when they buy the item, I want to see from the international side because they had to pay additional customs. Certain countries have their custom regulations, stuff like that. So I think when they go to buy the item, I don't think it fully shows everything sometimes because I've had people buy the item and then after say they want to cancel because they didn't know the shipping was going to be that high. So I think it just shows the international shipping. But I think when they go to purchase it and like another screen pops up and I think it shows like additional like customs and like anything else on there.
Yeah, it just happened with a watch box that I sent. Gentleman was arguing with me. I said, you bought it for $150. He finally mea culpa said, hey, it's my fault. There was an extra $30 that he had to pay. So yeah, I wish we could see what they're seeing. We can't see anything. So I can't help them at all.
I have a sale right now that's going to Canada and I just checked on it yesterday. He already had to pay some extra customs fees. When I checked it yesterday, there was like an exception flag. And when I clicked on it, it said it got stuck again and that he needed to pay another customs fee. I'm like, how much is this guy having to pay for this item he bought?
But a
lot of times it's more than the item. It's crazy.
Yeah. I've sold packages to like over to Europe and they get stuck. Oh, wait, maybe it was Middle East or Europe. I can't remember, but the package got stuck and they had to pay additional custom fees and the buyer wouldn't pay him. So, the item he's like, I'm not paying for it. It's going to be like double, like you said, like double amount what it's going to be. So they refuse to pay for it. They file a claim on eBay, which covered me because once you ship it through international, you know, there's nothing you can do at that point. I'm covered through eBay's policy. But yeah, I've had all kind of weird things happen international.
I like international. I
like eBay's international plan, the global shipping plan,
Yeah.
even though the buyer pays more, but like you're off the hook with lost packages, items get stuck in customs. You know, like I'll tell you one thing. If you sell graded video games, they come in an acrylic case, like a hard acrylic. I don't got one next to me. I will show you. But they come in like a hard acrylic case. And what happens is people are like, this game may be a $2,000 game, graded maybe a $4,000 or $5,000 game. They're shipping through customs, and then the customs will scan it for X-rays, and then they'll bust the top of it open and look inside to check the box. Open sealed video games to check inside to see what's in it, and then send it to the buyer. Yeah, that's happened a lot with, especially crazy. So you got to be very careful shipping graded items internationally when it comes to like video games or VHS.
Yeah. I ship almost anything because you are protected. So, you know, just as long as it gets to Illinois or wherever it's going to and it shows that it got there, that's it.
Yeah, and I haven't had any issues really. Like my non-paying buyers are not international buyers. And I had somebody last week that bought, I want to say like 8 items from me. It was a lot. And eBay has been a little better about combining international, but in this case, the most they combined was 2. So they had to pay that separate shipping, I think 4 or 5 times, and we can't combine it after the fact. So we had to ship it in the packages that eBay, for whatever reason, lumped together. So I have no idea how much. It probably was a pretty penny that buyer had to pay because they had 4 or 5 shipments going international from us. It was a lot. All right, let's see. No, it's definitely not. Liz says on eBay, why do I sometimes see a description without clicking on see full description?
Would that be where they filled out that box that's underneath the title?
The item condition. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking that's what you possibly are seeing. I don't put anything in there. I used to, believe it or not, occasionally put stuff in there. That's probably what she's seeing. I don't think she can see the description until you click down on it. But I think that's what's going on there.
Amber?
I agree. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing.
I don't think it's that. I think it's you used to be able to pay like a 10-cent fee to have a subtitle. So there are subtitles. I don't know if you guys remember that back in the day. Do they still have that? Because that used to be a feature before.
I don't even know if you have bold.
They have it, but you have to pay. It's like a ridiculous fee too. It's like $3 or $5.
Is the subtitles too? Because you used to be able to put a little subtitle. I think it was like, I want to say like 50 characters that you could put would have been underneath the title, and you can add like additional wording.
I haven't seen
that
too much.
I fill that out, but the thing with like filling out that box is you only see it both to fill it out and to view it on the computer. So if you have to make sure you put it in the description as well, because people viewing it on mobile don't see what's in that box. So I normally put it in the box so it shows up top if somebody's looking on the computer, and then I will copy it into my description as well.
That's a good point. There's a lot of different things from the mobile to the desktop. And can be
there are.
I found one of my listings where you can see the description without clicking see full.
Okay, so that might be on the phone part, maybe.
I think so. This one was a book listing, and I always like elaborate on condition for book listings. So maybe I filled out the condition section, or maybe I had to fill out the condition section for a book listing. I don't remember. But I specifically went and looked for this one because I know I specifically filled out something about condition on it.
Yeah. The Sober Reseller says, what is the craziest bolo you found and sold? Something you were completely gobsmacked that there is a market for.
Mine's pretty simple. Was the VHS tape that I sold, which was Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I got it basically for free. Sold it for $4,500.
Oh, it was a sealed copy then. Must have been first release.
sealed copy, and right behind it, 10 minutes later, I sold the sealed copy of Star Trek Wrath of Khan for $1,500. So $6,000 in 10 minutes.
That was, let me guess, that was probably in 2022.
It was probably a little older than that, maybe
2021.
21. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
There
gonna
was
say
a big market for it. I think it's died.
Well,
I don't know.
so the big thing is back then is we didn't know how many sealed copies of VHS tapes were out there.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you had a copy like the Indiana Jones, like you might have only copy on eBay at the time, or there might not have been many out there. Now that a lot more has come out to the marketplace, and you know that was right around the pandemic time frame too, where collectibles was going through the roof, and that was an emerging market. So anytime you have a brand new emerging market in collectibles, you're going to have astronomical prices right in the beginning, and then it's going to pretty much, you know, then you're going to have a huge decline, and then it's going to plateau. And now, I mean, there's still a market for it. I mean, I just got some graded VHS here, but yeah, someone was buying that to get graded. You must have that. It must have been pretty mint thing too.
It was mint. It was very, very scary to send that out because I don't do this, but I looked his address up just to see where this was going. You know, I wanted to see the house. I'm going, I want to make sure this guy's, you know, the code. No feedback left. No, nothing. Zero. He just was very quiet, and it went through.
So 2 come to mind for me, and she said like you were gobsmacked. What is the word? Gobsmacked? There is a market. So I'm trying to think of things like, for example, I've sold boots that are more expensive boots, but those are, you know, not surprised there's a market for it. This is something I just sold last week, but I've found 3 times. It's called it's like a cheese head, but it's a corn head. I live in Iowa, which is the highest corn producing state, so I'll probably find more than most. But I found it 3 times. I've sold it for $80 every time. 2 times they sold for $80 within a couple of days. The other one took a couple of months to sell. But yeah, I just listed one last week and it sold in a day or 2 days. I think it sold for $80.
Aren't they associated with like the Iowa, the college too, the university? I think that a lot of times they use
Cornhuskers in Nebraska.
Yeah, they use that.
I assume so. I advertised, like I put that in the listing title, but of the 3, only 1 sold to Nebraska. But they could be Cornhusker fans in another state.
Oh yeah, I met Nebraska, not Ohio, but yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and then another one is the hymn boards. Have you guys sold those before? Like I sold a hymn board that was probably like 4 feet by 2 feet wide, and it sold pretty fast. And I also, when you were saying you looked up the address, that reminded me of that person, because I had looked up their address of like who in New York City is buying a hymn board and why. And I think it was some author in New York City. I don't know why she wanted a hymn board, and I don't remember how much it sold for, like somewhere between $100 and $200. Yeah. And then they paid quite a bit for shipping because they went from Iowa to New York in a big package. But those are 2 that surprised me.
So I got one for you guys, and this is one. If you have kids, you'll probably have seen these, and you probably throw them away because you had no idea. But have you guys ever bought those little juice boxes at the store? They're called Good to Grow. I think it's Good to Grow. It's called.
I think I've seen them.
Or was it Good to Grow? Let me look on. It's Good to Grow. Yeah, Good to Grow. They're little juice boxes, and they have little characters on the very top of them, like Disney characters.
I just threw some of those out.
Correct. So what a lot of people don't realize is I went to a yard sale and someone had a big bag. They must have saved like 100 plus of them. Just threw them in a bag and I bought for $1. And what I did was I took them and I looked up, and there's actually a market for those, because parents that would actually buy those certain characters, and they're getting for the kids. So what I do is I put them in big lots. So if you have kids, save those and then put them in lots. And I've sold lots of like 25, 30 of those for $75. You know, you're already buying them anyway, so why not just save them? And then there's clear ones, and then there's silver ones that are like special edition ones, and they can sell individual for like $10 or more. So if you guys do come across,
the crazy thing is the drinks are $5. Like they're not cheap either.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
FYI.
But a lot of parents will buy those because their kids obsessed with certain characters, and then they'll just swap out the tops on different bottles. So that was one I found recently. I had no idea. I just bought it because it was $1, a giant bag of them, and I like pop culture, and then found out there's a huge market of it. Now I just bought a massive tote at the flea market of them. And someone had like a tote of like hundreds of them. So
what's it called? Grow to Grow?
It's called
there you have like little different characters on top. They're like $4 or $5 for the drink at like even like Walmart or at the like convenience store.
Yeah.
So I actually just had a sale like 30 seconds ago, and I think it's something you guys will be surprised by. So I am going to show you. So I accepted a $100 offer on this thing just 30 seconds ago. I want to look at, so it doesn't look bad here, but look at all of the cracks on this thing. Like
Nice.
it is falling apart, but with it not falling apart, it was worth over $1,000. So I said, I'm going to list the daggum thing anyways. And it just sold for $100. So like damaged stuff, if it's, and that was rare too. So there weren't any not broken either. My mom's friend gave me that inside of a lamp, and I took it out and I'm like, oh, and then I looked it up and I was like, holy crap, this thing's worth $1,000. And then I saw all of the 5 million cracks, right? And I had it listed at 194. They offered me 100. I got it free. My mom's friend was throwing it out. So I'll take the $100 on it. But like, pay attention to damaged stuff, but it's mainly damaged stuff that has a very, very high value, not damaged. If it's like a $20 or $30 item damaged, it's probably not worth listing, but like that was worth $1,000. So $100 on a free item, that nothing really surprises me anymore after doing the research videos. Like there's a market for almost everything. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's
the thing you got to do is you've got to constantly look things up and, you know, and explore. You have to be curious. I say that all the time. Your curiosity is going to lead you to some pretty weird things that sell for some really good money.
Yeah. And typically weirder things sell for more money.
Right.
If it looks weird and crazy,
Or
so
ugly.
there is a pine cone market. Not enough of a market that I want to go and pick them up off of my property. I have over 6 acres of pines, though. I could, however, I think I could find other ways. Maybe once Dalton's a little older, let him go pick pine cones. There's a market for pine straw too, because people use it to weave baskets. But I'm not, like, I used to pick the Spanish moss off the trees too. You got to figure out what'll make you more money. That I used to just go pick it when it sold. Like I would list it because I know I have tons of it, and then I would just, if it sold, we'd go pick a box full. So yeah,
you don't even store it. You just go pick it.
Yeah, just go pick it when it sells. You don't even have to use space for it. It's crazy.
Probably I would say one of the craziest things I saw recently was like the bee's nest or the hornet's nest that people sell. Like those
are worth big money.
Big money. If you don't believe me, look those. Type in hornet's nest on eBay right now and look at all the hornet's nests and look what they sell for.
I think they're friggin' cool too.
They're cool. They're cool. They're not at my house.
They're not that cool. Yeah. I wouldn't pay that much money for them, but I think they're cool.
I mean, the last one sold is $299. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Liz says, to be successful on Bonanza, do you have to pay for a monthly membership of $40 or $25 for the whole year? I've only had one Bonanza sale.
Well, I'm not on Bonanza, so I can't help you there. You'll have to ask someone else.
I also don't know pretty much anything about Bonanza.
I don't think we pay a fee. I wish the owner was here right now. If you guys don't know, the Commonwealth Picker, he actually owns Bonanza secretly.
Kevin does?
Kevin does.
Yeah,
he secretly owns Bonanza.
Oh my gosh, I'll let him.
You know, you can quote me on saying that. He owns it. So, you know, we'll have to ask him when he comes in the chat later on. So
come on, Kevin.
Yeah,
I'm on here.
I get one Bonanza sale like every 2 or 3 months. But the nice thing is once you set up that connection between eBay and Bonanza, you have to do nothing. So like it's no work on your part. Yeah. You set it up. It's one friggin' click and that's it. And then if I get a sale every 3 months, then it's more. I agree with Mary. I would not pay a fee on Bonanza.
Yeah. No.
I don't think it would be. I mean, I don't know. If you do try it, let us know. Maybe that's the secret to getting more sales on Bonanza. I don't know.
So I will give you a full disclaimer though. If you guys do sign up for Bonanza, all your stuff's can transfer. 2 things will happen. One is you'll probably have a bunch of listings getting taken down because Bonanza is really strict on a lot of things. So like they took down like 75 of my eBay listings just for that didn't meet the criteria. But make sure you go in your PayPal account and you click on seller protection. You add that to your PayPal account because you get paid through PayPal. And if you have any type of payment dispute with a buyer, if you click and you activate seller protection, I think it charges you like an extra like small fee anytime you get a transaction on there, but you will be protected. Because I had a scammer hit me and did a credit card dispute with something on Bonanza, and I didn't have my seller protection activated at the time, and so I had the long dispute with PayPal for months. So you guys watch my flipping and punching channel, you've probably seen that in the past, but it's a simple thing to go in there. You can activate it, and also too, they pay you through PayPal, and you get random messages saying that you have PayPal money. Bonanza won't contact you, so you made a sale. You just get a message like, "Hey, you have money."
Yeah, and it does automatically unlist it for you, and we look at our unsold regularly because that's how we pull our Poshmark Mercari items that sold. So we'll pull it and be like, I don't see this on Poshmark or Mercari. It's a Bonanza, the one of the 3 months that we get. So that's how we figure it out. But yeah, I wouldn't count on that too much. Cindy wants to know, how do I raise all my listings 35% at once to have a 35% off sale? Seems like a monumental task. So I price everything 35% higher when I list it because my sales only off for about 6 hours a week. I put it on Monday through Friday at midnight, then it's off until 3 a.m. and then it goes back on. So I just have in my head, like if I want $65, I price it $100. I am seriously considering taking that off. I'm scared to do it because I've been doing it for years. But I was thinking that way I could do my sales in different sections where the older stuff I just put on sale 50% off instead of having to send offers to watchers to get that older stuff out. But I can edit 2,000 at a time on eBay. So on the bulk editing, you should be able to edit 2,000 at a time and just increase that price by 35%. But mine is just always priced 35% higher. I'm just worried about the math going back down, that I'm not going to be able to get it to compute right, and I'm going to lower my prices more than I want to. So yeah. But I don't, and it's funny because me and George, the antique nomad, talked about this. I hate when people do that in the antique mall. They price it all up and they're like, 50% off sale. I'm like, yay. And then I'm like, oh no. So I don't know if like I'm annoying people the same way that I get annoyed when I go into an antique mall, or if it's more like widely accepted on the internet. So I'm debating turning that off, but I would have to do it at July because I already have my sales scheduled through the end of June. And that also would make it harder where I would have to choose items every time. And I think you can only choose 500, right? If you individually choose.
No, you can do more than that now.
Okay.
Yeah. So question for you though, Kat, is have you ever thought about just pricing your items closer to market value then?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking of. Like, but I have the sale on everything, so I would have to wait. Like I have my sale. I schedule my sales for the whole month. So right now they're scheduled through July. So if I want to make that change, I would have to do it like July 1st, and I would have to mark all of them back down and then be more selective on what I'm actually putting on sale.
Because what you could do is anything you have listed in your store now, just write, say tomorrow, you write down the date tomorrow, and then going forward, anything that you list at market, closer to market value. Because when you go to run a sale, you can actually put on how many days. So if you know that all your new items have been on for 27 days, you can put anything 28 days or over is going to be in the 35% off sale, and anything from day one to day 27 can be on a 5% sale or 10%.
That's what I've got to figure out. But right now I have it pulling all the new listings in. That's why I said I need to wait till July, because I've already done that. So Gila, my email address is thenurseflipper@yahoo.com. Some of you send me email on my website. I will tell you I only check that about once a week. So that's probably the worst place to contact me. Either the Yahoo email or over on Instagram is the fastest way to get me if you want to get a faster response.
Going back to Kat real quick with your say, I priced mine all at market. Now, I had a furniture store for 30 years. The furniture industry was very shady, very shaky. There were guys that would do 35, 40, whatever percent higher, and then they would work and you'd think you got a deal. Well, I just couldn't do it. So my store was pretty much spot on the margin that I was looking for. And I would get a lot of people come in and go, hey, why are you on this item, 30% less? I had to do a lot of explaining, I mean, I wasn't afraid of that. I just wanted to do it straight up that way because I would get confused, I think, as to what am I doing here? What's going on there? So that was my policy for my store. I was very unique in that. And especially when it came to mattresses. Mattresses have a very huge, crazy markup. And then you can walk around and deal as much as you want. But you never feel like you got... It's very, very shady sometimes in the furniture industry.
Yeah, I have mine where like the sale puts it right at market value. So that way it would actually be, because I don't start sending discounts out till after 3 months. So that means for me, anything under 90 days wouldn't go into the sale. It would just be at that market value. And then it would pick up. I do 10%, but I wouldn't want to put that sale on because that would mess me up for my offers. And then 6 months or more, I've been doing 30. And then over a year, I've been doing 50% just to get this older inventory out, because the majority of it, I've already made the money because I buy so many lots. So really it's like all just profit. And I'm just letting, like, I cringe sometimes when it's like a $600 item or something, but I'm like, I would rather have that $300 when it's been sitting there for 2 or 3 years than just holding on to it for longer, because my goal really is to get less items in the store, not more, and have more value and better sell-through rate. But I don't want to just pull it all and give it all away, because I do have the space. We're not hurting for space at all. So I really don't want to get rid of it when the work's been done. I would rather take that, 50% and have something back and get rid of it versus all of that. Linda has a question for you, Mike. She said, how many Gaylords do you go through a week, and what determines whether you send a book into Amazon or list it on eBay?
Great question.
I go through anywhere from, I'd say 9 to 12 Gaylords a week. I do it 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. At least 3. I did 4 Monday, nearly killed me, but it's not, because there's about 1,000 or so books or maybe more inside the Gaylord. But she's asking what determines Amazon or eBay. Most of the time it's blocked or gated. That will force me to look at eBay. Also, if a book has a low E-score where it maybe only sells 4 or 5 times on Amazon, I might keep it and put it on eBay so that I can control the book a little bit more. I like to control certain books over Amazon, because Amazon, what they do now is I use the minimal splitting. I don't let them split my book. So I put a box in, and I want to make sure that that box goes to one direction. And when it gets to that direction, I can track it. They might split that box and send my books 10 different places. So if I've got a very valuable book, or a book that, I want to control, it gets a chance of more damage through Amazon. You just don't know. So there are subtle factors like that. But most of the time it's a gated textbook that I could make $60 on eBay, and on Amazon I would have made $100.
Mike, can you do me a favor? Can you explain what a Gaylord is? The people in the chat aren't familiar with
a Gaylord. Is it's a watermelon box, basically. It's 4 foot by 4 foot by 5 foot tall, and inside there is they just throw donated books, and then I buy them, and I purchase them for $100.
What percent? I'm interested to know, what percent would you say is average that you keep for either Amazon or eBay?
I would tell you that Amazon, the other day, let me see, I won't show you my scans because it zeros. Anywhere from 150 to 200 books. That's it. out of
And there are how many?
400.
1,000. So
4,000.
15%.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's a tough game. Now, look, I am passing up a lot of profit. I mean, there's people who would watch me and go, why? For example, kids' books. I could collect thousands of kids' books and do something with them. But I'm 62 years old and I'm kind of wanting to retire. I don't want to grow $1 million business. So that part goes away for me. I would love to figure out a way to do it, but then again, I only have so much space and time, and I'm winding down. So there, I mean, I literally could tell you, I probably pass up. And I think Mel, who is out of Back from Burnout.
Yeah, she was just on with us last month.
Yeah, so she does a full blown. She does it the way that I probably should do it if I'm not younger, meaning I was really wanting to crank something out. But her channel is very good. You would see what I should be doing there. She does it bigger.
Yeah.
Mike,
and Lucky Jesus. Oh, sorry, Rod. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I can ask after.
Lucky Jesus says Amazon has taken down all his expensive signed collectible books because they do not fit into other similar price unsigned books. Is there any way to get it into Amazon as a more expensive priced book?
I think you're stuck. It is frustrating when you get what we call a high pricing error or something like that, and you see people on the FBM side, which is that's fulfilled by merchant. They're shipping it. That book might be $150, and you're coming in at 99 or even, and they'll say it's a high pricing error. And you're going, well, how can that be? So the problem with Amazon, there is no customer support. Okay, it's really shaky. The answers that you get from them could be 4 or 5 different ways, depending on who you get. It's really difficult. I don't think it's going to be hard. I don't think you can do it. I mean, I just move on. There's certain things with Amazon you just take and you say it's Amazon, and that's all you can do is move on.
Yeah.
So, Mike, my question to you is, I actually just did a video about how physical media is dying on my flipping channel, and Costco just announced that they're going to be doing away with books. I mean, where do you see physical media going forward with books? Because there are even Goodwills across the country now that are stopped selling DVDs, VHS, or even books.
Well, Goodwill, there's Goodwills by me. Several Goodwills do not sort their books, okay? But most of them do. They are on Amazon selling books, okay? There's a one by me that one of the managers told me there were literally like 150 Gaylords back there that they have 4 or 5 people going through. Physical books, I don't think, are ever going to go away. There are people who love to hold a book and love to enjoy reading a book that way. I thought the same thing, but I can tell you my Amazon sales have grown every year for 5 straight years, and I don't see it slowing down at all. At least right now.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. Now, for DVDs and things like that, there's a collectible market there that people go for. And I'm not big into DVDs. Now, albums, that's media. Look at albums. They're red hot. I collect albums. I'm holding on to all my albums pretty much because I'm an album collector, but I want to hold on to them because they're not going to lose their value.
So with albums, you're right, because vinyl has actually gone last 17 years, from my research, vinyl sales have actually increased. Last year, they did 42 million vinyl sales, but compared to like the 1970s when they're doing over 300 million per year, it's still down, but it does make a comeback. But I mean, if you look at like and I use my example, like my stepson, he's 15, he's not going to pick up books to read. He's not going to, when he wants a video game, he's going to download right away, where I want to go to the store and buy it so I physically have it in my hand so I can read the manual as a kid to go through it. This generation coming up, they're not playing with, they're not getting books, they're getting digital books, they're digital. So I can see then right now it's going to be for the next 5-10 years we're going to be fine, but it's going to be, I'm just curious where the market will be going. I agree with you. I don't think books are going away, but
I think it obviously will slow down to some degree. It just has to, with technology. But I will give you a quick story. Somebody, you guys were talking about finding stuff in my bin. Well, last week I tell people I find all kinds of stuff. Well, in the bottom was a pile of Beatles albums, and I'm going, okay, I see them sometimes, and I pulled one out and I looked at it closer when I got home, and it was the Butcher cover. And the Butcher, if you don't know the Butcher cover, it's the holy grail of the Beatles. And it's where they were wearing Butcher outfits and they had babies' arms and meat. And anyhow, the record company said that can't fly. So they pasted over the new album cover because they were so cheap. Well, I picked up one of those and they sell anywhere from $1,200 to $2,000. That was in my bin. So that's what I mean. People miss things, vinyl like that. And I had a guy offer me $800 and I'm not interested. I'll keep it at that. So there was a hard offer of $800. So media is still hot in certain areas, and books. Hey, I make enough off books for what I do.
Good.
Yeah.
I love it. So I mean, that's my bread and butter for my stuff: books, CDs, vinyl, all that stuff.
Yeah. Liz wants to know, can you set a policy to promote all of your listings at a certain percent as you list them, or do you have to do each one separately?
I don't know that. I don't promote, so I do not do promoting. So I'm going to have to pass on that one. Maybe Kat, you might know. Kat, do you do promoted?
Yeah.
How about you, Amber? Do you?
I do. And when I put it in, I always tell myself, I need to go and look and see if I can just set this for all of them. So Kat, tell me, is there a way to do it?
Yeah, you just make a campaign. It's almost like a sale, and you can choose to pull in the new ones. I know a lot of people don't put it on for like the first month because if it's, faster sell through, there's no reason. We just have such a volume of listings. We have over 7,000. So I have a continual running campaign and I have it set at trending plus 3% and I cap it at 11%. And so it pulls everything in, and I'm doing the dynamic too, which is all wonky, but whatever. So it'll change it every day depending on what it is. And yeah, so you just have to start a campaign and tell it you want all of your listings. I don't know if there's a way to do a campaign where you say like starting day 31, it would go to promoted. That's something I would like to learn and figure out. Rod, do you just do individual? I know you don't promote everything like I do.
I mean, I promote almost 95% of my listings, and I usually do between 2 and 3% because I'm also setting my stuff around market value. Unless there's a high-end collectible there, so I'm not doing a big markdown when I do my markdowns. My markdowns are anywhere from like 10 to 15 to 20%, but I only do those maybe a 2 or 3 day sale, and I might do those once or twice a month.
Yeah. Okalino joined membership. Yay! All right, let's give her a turtle. As far as memberships, I think for July, June, most of the stuff's done. But coming up the first week in July, we'll have live shipping, live sourcing, and then the second week, the listing reviews. So Dalton has let the cat in here. If you haven't seen, he's jumping on me now. We couldn't find him all day. I was worried. So Dalton actually went outside and he said, Mom, you wanted to see him. So now he is in the shed with us. All right, let me give Miss Okalino the turtle. Here you go. Thank you. Dalton liked that. He said it was cool.
Let me see.
Oh, yeah, I already did it. You're too late now.
You're too late.
Julie says eBay opt-in shipping. Did you opt in to give the buyers the discount to forward it on to them? And if you did, has it made a difference in your sales?
I'm confused. eBay opt-in shipping.
You didn't opt out right now, Mike. You are giving your discount to eBay buyers if you do not know that.
Only if it's calculated.
What am I doing wrong? What is going on here? I got to learn something.
Calculated shipping?
Do I have what?
Do you do calculated shipping?
No, I don't do calculated shipping at all.
Oh,
only on certain items. Yeah.
Well, on the items you are doing it on, if you didn't opt out, eBay is now automatically passing on the discount to the buyers. So where we get the 20% discount or whatever, if you didn't opt out of it on your calculated rates, they're going to give them your discount. So you will have no cushion there.
Yeah, so I probably do 4 or 5 a year.
Okay, so not a lot.
I am hey, if it's this dollar amount, and then I work with people who will adjust offers or something to, if they're in the East Coast and it's off a little bit, that's how I work it. But I only calculate the ones that I have to, that are kind of definitely fit that category. So
Yeah.
I do similar. I knew what was going on with this, but I actually was excited about it because I only put calculated on my really big items that I know are going to cost very variable amounts depending on if they're close to me or far away. And in that case, you know, that extra amount can cost a lot to the buyer. So I'm glad now that it's just giving them what I'm actually going to pay in shipping.
yeah, I think it's done the same thing. I think the ones that I have had happen, it showed me the dollar amount that they were charged. Is that what kind of also what you're talking about? So it will show me that they were like charged $22 and
then it costs you 18 or whatever.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
So there's an eBay discount that we
eBay
pay, and
discount.
now they're just showing the buyer what we're going to pay for shipping.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot to opt out, but I'm actually going to be changing all my lists and stuff flat rate across the board, so it don't really matter.
Yeah.
I opted out, so I can't tell you, but I haven't seen like a significant drop in sale. And I chose to opt out because those bigger items are taking a long time to ship. They're taking a lot of shipping materials. Big boxes cost a lot of money. Like the art boxes, the TV boxes are like $10 each. So I don't want to lose that by losing the discount. So, yeah, so you still get the discount if you opt out. Your buyer just doesn't get it. So like if somebody's looking at my listing compared to like Amber saying she didn't opt out, her shipping is going to be way cheaper than mine because I'm still charging them what they would pay at the counter. Because I spend hundreds of dollars a month on bubble wrap and boxes, and we do such a volume. I probably could get free boxes, but the time it would take me to get free boxes just doesn't equate out to what I'm, wanting to do. And I think like having the boxes here, it's they're saying that you opt out in your shipping preferences. Somebody sent me the link. I don't know if anybody can find the link again, and I don't know if that link works or you have to go to your shipping preferences now. But I chose to opt out. Susan wants to know, did anyone else get an increase in what they can sell on eBay? Mine went from 50,000 to 50 million today. I had to count the zeros twice.
I haven't looked at mine in so long.
I was like, I actually have no idea what mine is. I'm sure it's not very much.
I think mine was, I think one time I saw it, it was like 180. I don't know, some number like that. It was crazy. But
Mine,
50 million?
mine's 5
That's
million.
50.
Yeah, eBay actually sent out a thing where I think almost everybody, like across the board, they were like rolling out where they were just removing selling limits now.
That's their
Yeah,
way of
my
making
limit is gone. I
Yeah.
have no limit. I can list as much as I want.
Yeah, me too. Mine's like, I think it shows like millions now or something ridiculous.
Mine's 5 million, so I am limited. So
I don't know. I have to look at mine.
All right.
Part of the reason why
see.
people don't know, the part of the reason why they had selling limits on there was to make sure that businesses weren't growing too fast, and they want to make sure that you were able to if you sold 100 items, they want to make sure you can ship out 100 items to your buyers in the correct time, and the items were good. So they didn't want someone just coming in there and be a brand new seller, sell 1,000 items, and then have 1,000 issues. So they would limit you and then increase your limits over time, what you could list as you were, getting good feedback and good sales.
Miss Diane says, is there a way to end and sell similar on Mercari using existing photos from the old listing like on eBay?
Well, I sell very sparingly on Mercari, but I have sold quite a few more items there due to their, the seller fee going away. I mean, I didn't have to, the buyer, I don't have to pay anything, but I am not big enough on our Mercari to help you there. I don't understand Mercari that way.
I don't sell Mercari. It's on my to-do list at some point, but it just never gets priority.
So for me, the fastest way that I know is using a cross-listing tool. And that's the only way. I don't think there's a way to go on Mercari and quick end it and sell similar like you normally would like on eBay. Or maybe Kat, is there a way?
I I just looked because I saw this pop up on my phone the other day. So this is one of my listings, and you can see right here, it says something similar to sell. Start with this listings info. I haven't tried it, so let's see if it copies the pictures. I hit copy to drafts.
No.
It is not copying the pictures. So Rod is right. The cross listing service, you could end it and then just pop it back on would be the fastest way. So it'll copy the info, but it will not copy the pictures. So a cross listing service is going to be your best bet. And I'll remind you guys real quick now too. I posted again today, 25 free months of List Perfectly for 25 people in our Death Pile Destruction. If you're a new user, you have to be a new user. So if you want to sign up for those, I just posted that a couple of hours ago in Death Pile Destruction. And I always forget to say, so I'll say this time, please answer the membership questions, because we will decline you if you do not agree to our rules. We don't allow you to advertise. We don't allow you to sell anything. And make sure you answer those and we know that you answered them. So you can go in there and claim a free month of List Perfectly, any level. And I partnered with them for Death Pile Destruction Group to give away those months. If you're new to it and want to see if it's worth it for your business, great opportunity to try it out and see if it works for you. I'm glad you came back, because the next question is for you. Rod, what is your favorite place to source in Florida?
Man, Florida is a hotbed for sourcing because we can pretty much source all year round here. And for me, my favorite place is garage sales, because there's garage sales pretty much every weekend. Because once again, you can sell. Now in the summertime, it gets a little hot there, but if it's not there, then we have the largest flea market in Florida. It's called Webster, and it's on a Monday. So I absolutely love going to Webster on a Monday, because what else am I going to do on a freaking Monday? You know what I mean? So like the fact that I can go sourcing for
you're going to ship the weekend sales.
Yeah, but I can get there like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and be there to like noon and still go home and still ship my items.
Nice.
So
what area is that Webster in?
Webster is about 45 minutes north of Tampa, about, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour from Orlando. So it's like, but more by like Ocala off 75.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I will say, like, as far as areas, and this is like backwards for me, my favorite place to source is Miami, but I hate going there because of the traffic. But I find really, really good stuff in Miami. It's about 5 hours south of me, but that, like, the thrift stores in Miami have some really, really good stuff. I will say that. I just, man, the traffic and getting there is stressful. All right, Rod, you're very popular. How long have you been full-time?
Full-time reselling? So I've been full-time for many, many years, but I worked. So what I always tell people, I had 2 full-time jobs, because I worked in 9 to 5 in the medical industry. I did medical sales for a while. And then I also was putting 50 plus hours a week in my reselling business. But in October of 2022, I quit my job. And you can see the video on YouTube. I put in my 2 weeks notice, and then the CEO of the company could give 2 craps about it. So I put in a new 2-week notice. I took my monitors off my desk and walked out in the middle of the street and just smashed them. And I said, record a video. So there's my new 2-week notice, and there was no turning back. So here I am. So I would say full-time on YouTube and on reselling about a year and a half now. But I mean, I was full-time for many. I made more money reselling for many, many years when I had my day job. I just had other responsibilities that I needed to have my day job with.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably the same way, right? You were pretty much full-time on eBay, even though you were full-time working
before
as a
I was really full-time. Yeah, I quit my job back in February of 2022. So I've been like 2.5 years full-time now, but I was putting in full-time hours for 2 years leading up to that to build it up to where I could go full-time. So and for me, like, YouTube took off. So then I really still had 2 full-time jobs. So it wasn't working any less. If anything, it was probably working more. I can just work whenever I want to work.
Yeah, that's it. You work more, but you have more fun. in
Correct.
general.
Yes.
Because you love what you do, and you control your own destiny. You control your own income.
Yep.
So the harder you work, the more money you make, and then you can take off and have fun, do other things.
Yep. Nobody
Yeah.
looking over your shoulder.
Whenever you want. Wendy wants to know, if you could only sell in 5 categories, what would you sell?
That's a lot of categories, actually.
That's a lot. But I would,
It is.
for me, it would be electronics, anime or manga, vinyl for sure, and believe it or not, still books. Books is a category that you can work in that not a lot of people are in. So that's 4. I give you 4. I could think of another one, but I really enjoy the manga. Believe it or not, the anime. I really like that category.
It's a big market.
And I enjoy going into we were just in the mall a couple of days ago, and I enjoy going into the big stores that sell all the anime and all that. It's fascinating. So, and there's some big money in there.
Why don't you tell people the trick to know if you pick up a manga book when you're out and about? What's the easiest way to tell?
What do you mean if it's
well, it's backwards compared to because
it's backwards. Yeah, it reads backwards. It's weird. I don't know. I can't even read them. I like them, but they're done like you said. The back part is the first page, and then the Japanese manga. A lot of people will pass that up. I picked up a huge lot at a flea market that had a lot of Japanese. That will sell also, not just the English version. So I find that category, and then vinyl is just something that is just. I just love the old classic rock stuff, so that's a lot of fun.
For me, for sure, shoes would be the first on my list. I love selling shoes, make good profit margin on a lot of shoe sales. I feel like clothing is too broad. Like if you were saying manga specifically, I probably need to be more specific than clothing. Jeans are my favorite category within clothing. Know the most about jeans, and then outerwear again because of profit margins. Coats you can make pretty good profit on. Dresses, tops are easily out, skirts are easily out. I could drop those categories. And then did I say purses already? Add that in there.
Well, I forgot to mention teacups. Yeah, teacups would be definitely. I would definitely like to get into teacups.
When it comes to hard goods, I just sell random things, and I don't know. I don't think there's like one specific category I've sold a lot in. It's just kind of random stuff, whatever I find.
So for me, number 1 would be probably video games because they're super fast sellers, and if you guys do find video games, it's like print money right away. Sports cards because they don't take up a lot of room. I can have 1,000 sport cards in a little box, and there could be $10,000 worth of cards in there. So I really do like sports cards a lot because especially if you're working in a smaller condensed area. Action figures because boys. I'm a Toys R Us kid at heart, growing up. So, and plus I like to collect them, and I just have fun. It's one of those things I just enjoy taking photos of. I would say one category I really enjoy doing, just because I like to hunt and try to find it, is vintage clothing, like vintage T-shirts.
Yeah.
Because when you're out and about and you find a vintage clothing, like it brings you back to those years when you're like, you find this, and then the market on those is absolutely insane. So, and then probably electronics. Because electronics are fast sellers, and I enjoy electronics. So that would probably be the 5 categories I would sell in.
For me, number 1 would be jewelry. That is where I make the majority of my profits, and I can also source plenty. 2 would I agree with Amber. I like jackets, coats, outerwear because you can find them low, and there's a lot of profit in them. And I would I love teacups, but I can't source enough teacups. So if you're telling me I can only sell in 5 categories, I would not pick that. Native American decor and artwork would be number 3 because I absolutely love it. And probably vintage. I'm with Rod on the vintage shirts. I like those for sure. And then last, I'm trying to think. Linens. How did I forget linens? Vintage linens. That would be my 5. Because it's all, I think if you're trying to narrow down, like you can want, and I say this all the time, like I can want to sell vintage t-shirts all I want, but if I can't find them, I can't sell them. So that's why I sell everything, because I sell what I can find. And I like applaud people that only do one niche, but in my area, I can't find enough of any one thing to make a living off of it. You know, I might hit the jackpot and find tons of one type of thing, but then I don't find it for years again, you know, like the license plates or the Harley pins. It's a once in a lifetime. And for me, the boxes, Rod has a good, consistent supply of the designer boxes. I do not. Mine was a one-time buy. We're not getting them on a regular basis. So that would be the same thing. So just keep in mind, you can want to sell whatever you want, all you want, but if you can't find it, you can't sell it. Just remember that.
And that's the great thing about what we do is we can, every category, we're talking about pine cones. We're talking about just, you know, wasp nest. It's just a fascinating field that we're in. And that's why I tell people, just be curious. I mean, just open your mind, go out and look and have fun. You know, people see me and they say, what are you picking up that for? And I say, well, it's $200. That's why. I mean, whatever it is. And I open myself up to everything. And that's the way you got to do it, I think.
I think the biggest thing for a lot of us resellers out there, including myself for the longest time, is we're constricted to a certain area. So you get into the, you know, because of that, you get in the habit of picking the same items, same area, because that's what you're coming across. Like Kat said, if you can't find it. So to really grow as a picker, I highly recommend you guys start traveling around. Like Kat travels, you know, what is it, like 5-6 hours from where you are down to Miami, you know, for maybe 4 or 5 hours of driving there.
Yeah,
So
not a ton. Like Rod's area too, I love Tampa, Clearwater. Dalton and I go down to the Tampa Bay Rays game. That's like a completely different demographic from up here in North Florida where I'm at. And then Miami is even more of a different demographic, but go for a weekend. And the nice thing is it's a business expense. I love thrifting Birmingham, Alabama for clothes. I found the most clothes I have ever found when I went to Birmingham, Alabama. And linen, it's weird because different areas value linen differently. Some thrift stores, you won't find any vintage linen. They just probably throw it out. When we went to Pennsylvania, the linen was nice. Like they had like whole sections of vintage linen. And I see a lot at some of the stores here, but nothing like I saw in Pennsylvania. But that's also an older part of the country, you know, so you've got more vintage and antiques in Pennsylvania than you do down here in Florida.
That's like I went up to Virginia, I visited Commonwealth Picker, and we did the 100-mile sale up there. I was up there for 3 days. Like if you guys watch any of my recent videos, it's me picking on there, but I'm buying a lot more antique stuff I don't normally buy when you guys watch when I'm down here in Florida, because it's like Kat just said, it's a completely different demographic out there. You're a completely different market because you're picking what's going to be accustomed to that area. And so the point I'm trying to make here is I highly recommend, if you guys ever have a chance to go like a highway sale or a chance to travel, and like Kat made a good point, you can use it as a business write-off, tax write-off. If you go plan it where you're going to go hit up a bunch of yard sales, plan you're going to go a highway sale, plan you're going to hit up a bunch of thrift stores, and you know, do that on your vacation, because you will grow as a picker and a reseller by doing that.
See, I'm lucky. Sure. I'm in Silicon Valley, so I have the wealth here is just amazing what people throw away. Yeah. I have access to 30 thrift stores, flea markets, garage sales. So mine. I say it's like shooting fish in a barrel sometimes, you know. I'm very lucky. So that's the difference. And I try to explain that in my channel, that you are different in different areas, but there is money in every area. You just have to learn how to work it. And I've always said the key to my growth has been networking. You can't be afraid of other pickers at all. Other pickers, believe it or not, will help you. And that's how I have grown myself. I have more friends now as a reseller than I did when I was in business, and true friends who really, you know, help me and I help them. And if you do that, you'll grow.
Yeah, I say it on the show all the time. We grow stronger as a community than we do individually. Because, and when I went to the 100-mile sale, I was there with a lot of people that have been picking for 20 plus years. And there's 5 of us show up at the same sale. And there's 5 of us walking out with all different items because there's enough money going around. And then I'm like, well, wait, why are you buying that? Oh, that's worth $200. Oh, I had no idea. And that's what you learn. Yeah, you know, like you just never know. Like I don't pick glass, but going with people that buy glass, man, your eyes will open. Let me tell you, that was like one of the biggest things for me.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I always get like kind of dumbfounded when people comment on my thrifting channel, like, how are you going picking with that? Like, we all leave with full carts of stuff, except Marsha, who gives it all to me. But like, I've been going with me, Marsha, and Elena a lot of the times when I'm thrifting, and all of us find stuff. Like, all of us have different knowledge. We have different expertise. We're seeing different things. I don't care. And then they might see what I'm looking up. And the funny thing is, they also, like, they'll see stuff they know is worth money, but they don't want to deal with, and they give it to me. And like, I would do the same. Like, I would do the same for them. So there is plenty of stuff. The whole like me mentality, I really don't understand. That's just like people giving us crap for teaching on these videos. Do you know how much stuff is in the US? Like, it's unbelievable, and it's in landfills, and there is plenty of stuff for whoever wants to resell.
Think about you've got American Pickers on TV, Storage Wars, all of these TV shows that have bigger audiences and so forth, and there's still stuff out there. I just found that Beatles album. I mean, you just don't know. I mean, I have pickers. I had one where I was picking my son up at the airport, and this one lady said, "Hey, golf clubs came in, Mike." I called my friend Roger. Roger went, picked the golf clubs up for me. He doesn't want them. He picked up $800 worth of golf clubs because he knows that I'm going to do him a solid somewhere. So that's networking. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't have that opportunity. You just have to reciprocate, and just a big community. It's a lot of fun. Celebrate their wins. When you get a win, sure, but when they get a win, celebrate with them, because that's what it's about. It's about friendship. It's about the community.
I would tell you, when we talked about me quitting my job early and going full time. When I did that, I literally traveled to, was it South Carolina, Kat? Where did we go to a Prison of Profits event? We went to
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah. So to be honest with you, I didn't know Kat at all. Like, I knew who she was because of being on YouTube and stuff like that. I'd never met her, never talked to her before. But going there, I met 40 other resellers up there that were on YouTube, not on YouTube. And, you talk to people, you learn what they're doing, how they're sourcing. But like, that opened the door to get, I came on Kat's show, and then one thing led another. Julian left, and then I'm her co-host now. But, I've learned a wealth of knowledge from her because I never bought linens. I never bought glassware. Yeah. I never bought brooches or, teacups. Like,
teacups. So, like, that was me. Teacups.
She never, she never bought she's not buying action figures. And what she does, they're sitting in her storage for 3 years because, until I start to get rid of it, sell it, but like, she's not in the comic books, sports cards, all that stuff. So like, it's great where we have such a wealth of knowledge that we pull together to just doing this show. I mean, we bring 2 new guests on each week, and the knowledge that they provide us and to the audience is priceless.
Real quick on this topic. Sure. Last time I was on the show.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last time I was on the show, I had bought a lot on an online auction because there was a perfume in the lot I wanted, but it was just a bunch of random stuff. And in the lot, there was a hand carved statue. This was over 2 years ago. So you remember. So I showed you guys the statue. It didn't have any markings on it. And I was like, what do I price this at? I don't know what to do with this. It's totally out of any category I'm used to. So I just pulled it up. I had to do a little research because I couldn't remember what I sold it for. Let me see if this works. Did it work? Oh, never mind.
Okay, was it a lot?
I'm just going to have to tell you because it's asking for me to change my permission. Anyways, I listed it at $250 based on your response in the chat's advice. It was listed for about a year with no interest, no watchers or anything. But I mean, I didn't know which price of that. So then I dropped it to $150 after a year, and it sold for $120 in a couple weeks. And I didn't know what to do with it. I'm like, should I donate it? I'm like, it doesn't have any markings on it. I don't know what to do with this. It sold for $120 plus shipping. So
you just got to find that it can happen. I think Don, the auction professor, I like his way he does some things. Sometimes he has so many items up that have been up for years, but they're so small, and sometimes he hits some, $50, $60, $100 items. It's kind of unique watching him. I mean, that's the community, right? I'm not into that, but I love watching because I'm learning something, and that's the key. We learn something.
Keep learning, because you're walking past tons of money. I guarantee you, every time you go anywhere, all of us are, because nobody can know everything. Like, I was talking with people at the thrift store, like, on the 50% off days, I like to go there first. And they do put stuff out continually. But at an estate sale, a lot of people won't go the last day. I guarantee you I could find profit on the last day, and stuff's on sale, like 50% off. There's always something, that has value. It's just whether you know that or not. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
All right, Mark is late, but he finally made it. I'm going to give him Rod, because last time I didn't give him Rod and he had a temper tantrum. So, Mark, here is Rod.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
I'm not going to do it. I'm resisting. I have the habit. Like, I just want to punch the camera.
Mike needs to see Kevin at some point tonight.
Which one?
Okay. We have a Kevin super chat. It's a new
you got
one.
A Kevin? Oh, great. That's good.
We do have a Kevin. All right. Trash Cat says, I'm stressing I haven't sold anything in a week now. I consistently list, have promotion on, and send offers constantly. Am I doing something wrong besides not having a high sell-through rate?
It goes in streaks. That's all I can say is I don't know what this person has and is selling, but it definitely is. The key is listing, but listing quality and consistently. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't have, good sales for myself, but I don't know what this particular problem is. High sell-through is definitely something that helps, and how much inventory you have. I don't know how many items you have up. I have 2,000. So there's usually something somebody's going to buy, and I'm consistently listing. So I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, I think based on her comment, she probably has some idea of what it could be, but and generally when I have slow sales or I'm feeling like I haven't sold much, I just start listing a bunch more, and then the sales come with some of those new items, or I'll go back to older listings and send out offers, because usually for my items anyways, the oldest items are just overpriced, which is why they're not selling. So I'll either send out offers or list a bunch more, or do both, and that generally gets me some sales. My mom just started on eBay at the beginning of the year, and she had a bunch of sales a couple weeks ago, but now it's been like 10 days since she had a sale. And so she probably can relate to how you're feeling, Trash Cat. She's feeling really discouraged because she's not selling anything. And I mean, that's the advice I give her. Just sometimes things are slow. Just keep listing. And then maybe some of your older items, like she's doesn't really keep a watch on them or, do anything with the older stuff. So you could either relist it or maybe decrease the price a little bit to help it move.
Are you teaching your mom how to sell on eBay? Or
yeah, she's been thrifting with me for years, but she just never did the listing. And so finally this year she started listing, and she's already had some really good sales. So
great.
It's off to a good start.
So what is the main takeaway that you tell her? What's the most important thing you told her just starting out? I think it'd be good for the
when it comes to finding stuff, like check the comps, and then she watches. He was on. I'm having a brain fart. Cha-Ching King.
Yeah, Scot.
Scot is great.
He loves Scott.
Scott was on last week. Yeah.
I was gonna say I just saw that he was on. Yeah, so she loves Scott's videos, and they're really good for new people to eBay. So she knows from him to look at sell-through. She knows from me to look at comps, and so those two things have helped her find good items. But it is interesting because she, like all of us do, we have a bias towards certain items just because we like them. So she sometimes does pick up things and like, why did you buy that? She's like, I just really like it. I'm like, okay. I mean, that's part of the fun, right?
I still do that. I mean, if we can't enjoy what we're doing, sometimes you just got to get it. It's okay.
So I would say if I was in this situation, I mean, first thing you always look through is going to be a sell-through rate, which you're not having a high sell-through rate on there. Anytime sales stop for a store, if I look at someone's store, they want me to take a look at what's going on. One is I look as make sure your pictures are clear. Number two, make sure that you don't have any shipping errors. There was the update with shipping. Maybe that could be that's caused some issues because there was on there. And then also too, you may be overpricing the market. And depending on the items you sell, we are in the summertime, so some items are seasonal. So if you have a whole store full of winter jackets, you're probably not going to see a lot of sales in the summertime.
Yeah,
so that also plays into it. But If I was in the situation and I didn't have any sales for about a week, I would try to, you know, end a lot of my listings and do sell similar and adjust the price or redo some photos. If my photos aren't good, double check all my shipping on there. But I would try to get some activity in my store. I would probably cut down the prices on a lot of items and put best offer on everything that I have, just to get some offers coming in so that I can accept offers even if I'm breaking even. Because if you don't have a high sell-through rate, I need to move some items out of my store just to get some activity. So, and then get cash flow coming in, because cash flow is really important. And if I don't have any sales in a week, I have no cash flow coming in. So those would be the first steps I would take.
Yeah, those are good. Those are all good. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Rod. He kind of took mine, because the things I see a lot are overpriced. Like sell-through rate is gonna be number one. I'm trying to impress that more. I have not over the years because of how I bought. I'm not buying as many lots because of that fact, and I'm trying to be pickier with what we are listing out of the lots. We just loaded up somebody's SUV today with free stuff. Some of it was bigger, like I got pet strollers and a big estate buyout. I don't want to ship those things. Worth 40 or 50 bucks. I don't care. I gave them away. I gave away luggage, big luggage. I kept a few for myself. My husband's like, why are you giving those away? They're too nice. Because they've been sitting there for 6 months. They're not listed. I don't like the cost on big luggage. I feel like would impede the sales. So I gave them away. Let her make 50 bucks on them at the flea market. That's fine. I'm helping somebody else. So pricing, I see overpriced stuff. People have a tendency to think their stuff is worth what they think it's worth. You need to look at the facts of what it's worth. And that might be $10, not 50 that you think it is worth.
Right.
So I would do that. Shipping, Rod's right. Even if you're priced in line, but you put it's 2 pounds and it really only weighs 1, for me on the opposite coast, that's $10 more or 15 in shipping. And that could make them not buy my item. And the photos too. And if you're not ending selling similar, I would start doing that. I haven't been as good about it. I did it today, but when I was doing it every day, I was having more sales of older stuff. And we also don't know how many listings. I tell people, like, I'll see a lot of people in my store reviews that have a higher sell-through rate than me, but they're not making as much because I have 7,000 listings. So if you have a low sell-through rate and you want to make an income from it, you better have volume. That means thousands upon thousands of listings in order to make any significant money. I don't sell anywhere near 1%. Like I have 300,000 in inventory listed. If I sold 1%, I'd sell $3,000 a day. I'm happy to sell 500. Okay, so my sell-through rate is low. So hopefully that helps. But really check the sell-through rate. List more quality, higher sell-through items.
I was gonna say cross-listing as well. You know, you do certain items may not go on eBay, but they will sell on other platforms. I've sold 3 items this week on Whatnot's marketplace, which is insane. Which I didn't think would happen.
I had high sales on Poshmark. I'm going to put out a video tomorrow of only Poshmark sales. I had some incredible Poshmark sales recently, and it's not like closed. Like some of it is closed. I'm not going to say none of it's closed, but the majority of it is not closed. So, so eBay does let you delist. You simply end the item. You can, there's an other, and if you end it on the phone, you don't have to put a reason. eBay does allow it. I unlist 100 a day when I'm doing it diligently. They do allow that. You can put item no longer for sale. They don't friggin' know. Like,
they don't care. I've been doing that today as I'm cleaning the garage. I'm ending listings on things I'm putting on the garage sale. So, I mean, it asked me, do I want to, you can relist it. You can go back. So you can. Funny.
I think Marsha really likes Kevin because it's the second time she has bought the super chat for somebody that's on the panel.
Kevin just texted me. He's on vacation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said,
now you get.
You're about to see him on vacation. You're about to see him on vacation, buddy.
All right.
Here we go. All right. Here's Kevin on vacation. Everybody close your eyes if you know what's coming. Here you go.
Funny. That's a good one.
There you
I
go.
just watched Amber just burst out laughing when she saw Kevin walking with the carrying
Oh,
the
yeah.
item on the beach.
Yeah,
And-
so he said he's on vacation.
Look, she's saying she's partial to Kevin. Too bad he's on vacation and can't see that. Yeah, and special thanks to Yvonne Thrifty Riches, who made that super chat for me. I appreciate it. He is actually on the beach somewhere, everybody's saying, so
Yes.
good for Kevin. I need to be on the beach somewhere too.
We all do.
Sorry, guys, your eyes will never unsee that.
I know that's definitely an issue now.
I think the only one of us, Rod, you're the only one that opted to pass on the shipping because we answered that earlier. So are you noticing that it's not always giving them it, or have you not noticed?
I haven't noticed any difference, to be honest with you.
Wolfman's Goodies sent a $10 super chat and said, I've been ending daily items and sell similar for 3 weeks now, and our sales are steady. I love selling board games, caps, LP records, and coffee cups, and they average $12 an item, but $1 into 10. Guys, you are not going to get that return on investment anywhere.
That's what I tell people. I tell people that,
it's incredible.
I tell people the same thing. It's like, before I did books, I was selling a lot of higher ticket items, but now I pull some books that, definitely because I get the bin paid for. It's almost like free, and I'm getting 15, 12. It's like, why? Because I'm going to make $10. I can't make 2,000, 3,000, 4,000% anywhere else. I mean, $1 into, $10.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's really incredible. And I tell people, don't look at it short term. Look at it long term. What does your bank account look like at the end of the year? How was it overall? So that $10 sale, it's just another $10 on top of a 30, on top of a 50, on top of another 10. It all adds up. It builds pretty quickly if you've got the stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, if you watch me, we've been switching to primarily $25 and up because I have payroll. So I'm having to shift kind of like my business to account for that. And it's hard. It is so hard when I'm thrifting because over years, I built the habit of picking these things that when it was just me, $1 into 10 or $1 into 15 is absolutely great. But when I'm paying people to list that $10 item, it's no longer great anymore. Let me see. Somebody asked when Yvonne is coming on. I will tell you if I can figure. Oh, there it is. Hold on. Let me see when Yvonne is coming.
That's why I'm a big proponent.
Yvonne's on July 2nd. July 2nd.
Okay.
So she'll be on in 2 weeks with us, guys.
Man, I can't believe it's gonna be July in 2 weeks. Crazy.
I know it is. All right. Let's do what do I want to do? All right, we're going to do a Gino. Here you go. I have so many super chats, I can't decide. Here you go. And guys, I will tell all day long, if it is just me, I will take $1 into 10. I will take it all day long, but you have to do what works for you. And now I will say $1 into 10, I want it to be an easy item, like the Harley pen or a license plate, something that's front, back, photographed. It's going to be easy to ship. I'm not going to do $1 into 10 on a glass item that's going to take me 15 minutes to pack. So look at all of the variables, but you have to find what works for you. And a lot of people, $1 into 10 works. I built my business on that, into having $300,000 in inventory on $10 items,
I always say that's a great way to start your kids out, is to go to the bins or go to garage sale and pick up dollar items and show them they can flip it for $10. I mean, it's a great way because at any point in time they need money, they'll have that knowledge to do this.
Yeah.
I guess I'm
100%.
I'm on the other side of this one.
On the other side?
I definitely don't want to do $1 into 10, but like Kat said, I don't really have easy to list items generally. Like shoes, they take cleaning, or clothes, take.
See, I won't clean anything, and I don't steam anything either. Mm-hmm. So like the Harley pens, I got them all for less than $1 a piece. And like I said, again, now I wouldn't do it because I'm paying people to list them. But when I got them, it was just me. And it was like, most $10 buys typically aren't going to turn into 100. Like you're not going to 10 times your money once you start getting up in the price points. So it's hard for me to pass this stuff up. And lots online, I'm looking and I'm like, no. Like I have to make myself not, because I'm so, I like it and I think it works well, but not when, like for me, when I built up and I'm paying by the listing. So if I had somebody hourly that was listing that was fast, then it would be worth it. My lister now that's hourly is not a faster lister. We actually just lost one and I hired a new one. She started today. So hopefully she will be faster. She's younger. In my experience, the teenagers are who are fast listing because they're fast on the phone. So hopefully she'll be fast like the last one was, but I pay by the listing. So that benefits them. If they're fast, they're making, $20-25 an hour and they're happy at 17 years old to make that, but if they're slow, they'd be making like 10. So, I think Mike can probably get this one. How do you pack and ship LPs within the US?
That's the easy one. There are only 2 boxes that I purchase. Most of my boxes I find LP boxes. You can get them on Amazon. They've gone up in price. They're averaging 75 to about 85 cents each now, but they fold and you can ship 1 to 4 albums, but it's also a very universal box because you can ship books, you can ship some other stuff in it, but it's a album box is what you're going to look for. And there are several ways to ship it. Very expensive albums. Some people will even ask you to take the record out of the sleeve. They don't want to split the inner sleeve or anything, so they want the record on top. I've had several say, hey, I could care less about the record. I want the cover, because they've got a perfect record. So there's different ways. There's different ways to do it, but basically an album box that you buy off of Amazon, and I buy them in by the hundreds.
All right, I had Dalton bring me this. The best way to mail license plates, we've sold probably 1,000 over the last couple of years. I use these, and I can get you the link and send it to you if you want. They're pretty flimsy, but license plates are metal, guys. They're not. I've had one issue with one license plate out of 1,000 using these. I had somebody send us one in a custom box, but I don't want to pay $1 to ship out a $10 license plate. So these work fine. That one that did get damaged, I'll give them a refund. And I just get those off Amazon. I think they're like 20 or 30 cents a piece. But I wouldn't do it with like a non-metal license plate. Like the plastic ones we sandwich in cardboard and put in a poly because the cardboard's thicker than that is. But your typical license plate is made to be on a vehicle. Like it's metal, it's strong. We haven't had none broke. The one that we had an issue with bent, and I think they just wanted money because you can bend the daggum thing right back, So yeah, that's what we use for the license plates. Trash Cat Rescue. This is a fun question. And I think answer this in the chat too, because this is very, very opinion based. Do you think it is poor etiquette to ask someone after a live auction? So you're at the live auction, they buy a lot and you want one thing out of it. Do you think it's poor etiquette to ask if you can buy that one thing out of the lot for a fair price?
No. Okay. I would think that the person who bought the lot would want to move the item if it's a fair price. I would think. It's kind of like when you go to a flea market. Sometimes they're hoarding around your car, your truck, and they're trying to buy stuff before it hits the ground, I guess. So, I mean, that was, you got to be a little bit more etiquette oriented on that situation. But here, I would think so. I would think it'd be okay. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
I haven't been to a live auction in a long time. Went to a bunch of them when I was a kid. My mom also, I sent her the link just a minute ago. She's watching now. So hi, Mom. Thanks for watching. But I think, with those bigger lots, sometimes you can tell what they're going after, or they'll get the lot and immediately pick up, if it's another item in the lot, then I think I'd be more likely to say something to them.
I've done it on my dock with books. There's other people buying other things, and I've seen stuff up there, and I've bought it. They've already bought it, and I've said, hey, I will give you X dollars for that. And they say, sure.
So It's actually poor etiquette. And the reason for this is because the auction house makes money off each sale. They get a percentage of that sale. So by you buying it from another person on their site, the auction house does not make money from the buyer premium, or they do not make money off the sale of that. You can actually get kicked out of a live auction for walking up to someone and ask to buy something from their lots. Because I know, because it's happened to me. That's how I learned this lesson. I didn't know any better. And I literally stepped out to go grab a drink. I came back, won the auctions that I wanted to buy. I had a lot of stuff, and I missed it. I just bad timing. And I walked up to the person and said, "Hey, were you interested in the hat in the lot?" I was like, "I'd be interested in buying it." And they're like, "No, you can't." And some employee came over and said, "Hey, you can't do that here." I'm like, I had to apologize because I didn't know any better. But they even make the auction houses that I go to, they'll make multiple announcements that you are unable to buy something from another person in there. It's against their policies.
So don't let them find out. That's the tip.
Yeah.
Well, because what it is, it's almost collusion, which is illegal. So that would be like, you would be, I would say, "Hey, Rod, I want that one hat out of that lot. So I'm not going to bid against you because I only want the one hat, but I'll buy it for you afterward. You're costing the auction house money." So that's on point. My cat just jumped right in front of me.
It's lovely.
But Lucifer, the same thing as steel billing. You don't want people bidding up on your auction, so that's also illegal. So Kat's right, though. It's like you're costing the auction house
collusion.
money.
It's illegal. That'd be the same thing in the whatnot auctions. It would be the same thing in a lot where somebody could be like, "Hey, don't bid on that. I want to get one item out of there." Shh, don't interrupt. Just take him down.
Why?
Now, what you guys do off property, that's up to you. Yeah. So
you could give them your number. Hey, call me after this. And like Marcia's saying, for it not to be illegal and not be collusion, you have to do it off the auction property. So again, you could give them your business card, tell them you're interested. If you want to be technically, correct.
I was thinking, however you want to do it, basically. I'm not sitting there saying.
I think you need to be quiet about it.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly.
I don't think the etiquette against the person buying it, because I agree with Mike. Like,
I agree with you, Mike.
Like, if I don't, like, I'm not doing it beforehand is illegal, but afterwards, if you see them carrying it out and you're like, "Oh man, I really like that one thing," like that's already done. And then saying, "Hey." Yeah, so Miss Pac-Man saying some auction, beware of this. They will ban you if they catch you doing it. And again, if they think it's collusion, it is illegal. It's against the law. So just be very, very careful. So I'm glad Rod said that, but I don't think to the person, if you negate the law and collusion, I don't think it is poor etiquette. And if they say no, then the answer is no. I've had people give me things because they don't want it. They really wanted something else. But again, it wasn't beforehand. It was after I saw them carrying it out. I personally, at the in-person auction here, a lot of times I'll leave what I don't want. And there are people that go around after the auction just for that, because they sell everything. So everything on that property is sold. So if pretty much everybody's gone, you could go, like I've left big TVs because they put a TV with a cool chair to make everything sell. Or they can sell it again. I don't care what they do with it, but people go around and pick up stuff like that after for free.
And just so the chat knows, there's two ways an auction house gets paid. They get paid. So if I put an item up for sale, they're charging me a percentage of the item. So say my item sells $100, I got to pay them a 25% commission for that item. Right? But then also the person that bought that will pay a 10 to 20% what they call buyer premium. So that even though the item sold for $100, the auction house is going to make, they're going to make 10 or $20 depending what the buyer premium is. So they're making money off the buyer and seller. So by doing that, you're taking money out of the auction house's pocket. But I do agree with Mike and everyone else there that there's a proper way to do it.
That's what I was saying. There's a proper way, whatever the rules are. Yeah, but I would think somebody would potentially, if you wanted to give them good money, they would take it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd be happy to sell one, and I have to sell one item out of the lot, like their mom wanted it or whatever. And then I pay for my lot, and then everything else is essentially free. Molly said, whatever happened to getting more flies with honey? Do you find that buyers are more rude or sarcastic when they don't get a price they want?
Sometimes, I am amazed at the gall sometimes of the offers. You might have an item up for 100 and somebody will give you an offer for 20. I mean, I don't understand that. I have a hard time with that kind of stuff. So it's not rude that I decline it. And I think what happens is a lot of times if they do, they go, well, you didn't offer back. Well, it's like, why do I offer back when you go 20 and I'm asking 100? To me, it's like I'm just wasting my time. So I usually when I get to people like this, the first time I decline. The second time I get a little more, if he ups at $5 or something like that. Yeah. So, there is some of that, but most of the time people understand. They're just trying to get a deal, but sometimes it's ridiculous.
Yeah, this made me also think of when you're going back and forth with someone who starts with a low offer. And my approach now is if they send me an offer where I'm not okay with the 50% between where I'm at and where they're at, then I decline it. Because I feel like they get more frustrated if you say they offer, like you said, let's say you're at 100, they offer you 30, and then you counter, and then they counter. They think you're going to be in the middle. Is my experience. So
Yeah.
I generally will just decline if I'm not okay being in the middle. And then often they come back with another offer. And then whenever they actually get to the point where I'm okay in the middle, then I'll start countering them. And I feel like that actually has led to better experiences with the buyers because they don't have their expectations set that I'm going to meet them between the 20 or 30 and the 100. Like they just knew I declined it. And if they wanted, if they kept coming back, then I would start playing ball, and then they got their expectations set at whatever price they actually started countering them at.
So I'm going to go completely different direction. Hopefully I changed your mind, Mike, on this one a little bit. But the only reason I say this is when I go to a garage sale, if I see an item that's priced at, say, $50 and I'm willing to offer $10, I may say, hey, not trying to be rude, but I mean, I'll be willing to offer you $10 for this. And sometimes people take me on that offer because they just want it gone. So and I had the same mindset like you did for the longest time, but then I started thinking to myself, well, what happened to people on eBay are just trying to shoot offers, just kind of test the water, see where we're at. And there's times if you catch me on the right day when I have no sales or if I have a really bad day where I may take a 50% offer, And so for my auctions now, what I did, I put best offer on. I don't automatically decline anything. If someone sends me, if I have a $100 item and they send me a $10 offer, which I'm not going to take, I'll counter them, but I'll put a note in there and say, hey, I'm willing to work with you, but I can't go this low. And maybe I give them a 20% offer. And then sometimes they'll counter back, or sometimes we'll go back and forth and I'll make a sale from it. Other times people are just sending low ball offers and, that's all they're doing. But it's a numbers game. I'm sure if that person sent 100 low ball offers of $10 and $100 item, one or two are going to accept it and they're going to make the, money. So I see both sides of it.
I do too. I see both. I do take some offers, but I think I'm talking more about specifically me. I have a lot of high quality items. When I have a book up that's going to sell for 500 and you're going to offer me 50 or even 100, and I know it's going to sell for 500. That's and you're just playing a game. You're hoping that I have accidentally set the best offer too low and it automatically accepts it or something. You're to me, it's like you're that particular situation.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean? But I have worked with many. It's just that when a certain item is worth something and they're like, I want it for 30, you have it for 100, and I know it's going to sell for 100, but would you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. And on the reverse side of that too, I would say I've had items up at for $200 for the longest time. And then when I went back and look at comps, they're sending me an offer for $75 or $50. I'm like, oh, that's so low. But then the person sent me a message, hey, if you look at the last comps, and I was like, oh, wow, they're right. The market has dropped down on that. So that's happened to me where I had to adjust my price on the not often, but that has happened.
Yeah, if they're higher like that, I will check them. So Troy said below 50%, it's a straight decline. I'm going to go with Amber and say it is for me as well. Yeah. So this is what I write. If they are at 50% or below, I have it in a notepad. I put, thank you for your interest in our item. I appreciate the offer, but at more than 50% off of asking on a sales price, I'm afraid we're too far apart for me to negotiate. Have a great week. Like, that's it. You can either come up or we're not going to negotiate.
Yeah.
If they send me another one, depending on my mood, I might be a smart aleck and counter them at a penny below asking. So they get the point that they're nowhere near what I would accept. And I was grumpy last week, and I think I actually said that. Like, you are not in the ballpark of what I would accept on this offer. That is very, very rare that I do that, but I did. And it's the ones that do it repeatedly, though, that I do that. Like, I don't do that on a first one. I'll just straight up decline it.
Yeah.
Now, if they're a little over half and it's been listed a long time, I might. And if they're higher dollar items, like Rod was saying, those are ones I will research because maybe I did comp wrong. You know, especially if I'm getting multiple offers that are in the same ballpark, I'm thinking, okay, it's not just one buyer lowballing me. Like, all these buyers are sending me $100 offer on my $400 item. Let me go check and see if I comped it right. Now, if it's a lower item, I'm probably not going to double check my comping. But I will if it's like $100 or more. And then I told this story last week, I had a really nice Dewa fishing reel that was worth the $130 I listed it for. And this guy, I think he came in at 50 originally. I sent him my nice little copied text telling him, nope, sorry, you're not close enough. He came up to 85. At that point, I countered him at like 115. So I gave him a $35 discount. He came back at 85 again and said, hey, I can get a newer model for just a little bit more. And I declined the offer. I said, it sounds like that newer reel might be a better fit for you. So you should probably go ahead and buy that. And the reel sold overnight for full price.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they tell me, oh, I can get a newer one, or that sounds great. Or like the people saying it's cheaper on Amazon, then why are you sending me an offer? Go buy it there.
Exactly. That's the funny one, stuff like that.
If you can get it cheaper somewhere else, why are you not buying it? And sometimes it's, I got this item for a month ago for X price. Okay, well, that seller sold it too cheap. I am not matching my price because somebody else underpriced their item, and I will explain it and not being a smart aleck. Like, you got a really great deal on it. I have done my research. The market value shows it is where I am at. And a lot of them, if they're a little over half, I'll respond with my lowest and say, this is my absolute lowest. If they counter me, I decline them. And honestly, the past couple weeks, I would say about half of them come back at what I told them was my lowest, and I make the sale after declining, and they get the point that I wasn't like just blowing smoke. I meant what I said. Sorry, the cat is jumping on very wobbly stuff right beside me.
Causing trouble.
Yeah, he always causes trouble. Okay, Margaret wants to know, where do I find the coupon for the quarterly store? I think she means for the shipping coupon.
Yeah, that seems to always be tough, right? I think how I do it now? I do a Google search, and then it takes me, and I put it in there, and then there's a link, and I click to find it because I can't even find it half the time. It's definitely down in your store area or something like that, or your subscriptions or something. I don't have it in front of me.
Anybody know where it's at?
I think it's in the subscription.
There's a quick link, I think, now too, for eBay subscriber discounts, right?
Yeah, if you go to Seller Hub and then you click on marketing, it's under subscriber discounts.
That's what I meant. That's what I thought. Yeah, subscriber discounts.
Yeah, but you have to. So once you're in your Seller Hub, across the top, there's a overview, orders, listing. It's the fourth one. It says marketing, and then underneath the marketing, it goes down to subscriber discount.
I don't know why they just can't put it up there simpler.
I know, make it easier to
by
find.
By the way,
right?
with that being said, June 30th ends the shipping discount, the supply discount for the coupon.
Oh, the second quarter. Yeah.
Yeah, second quarter coupon. So if you guys haven't used, if you have a store in eBay and you haven't used your supply coupon, go do that before the end of the month.
Yeah. Try finding something on Amazon FBA.
Oh, that's a nightmare.
That's an absolute. It's kind of sad. It's like I think that they've created a monster that they can't figure out, and it's so bad Try opting out of Mexico. Try opting out of Canada, Brazil. It's
Try to get customer service and talk to them.
Yeah, customer service.
Non-existent.
Yeah, it's non-existent. That's why I just basically do what I need to do on Amazon and
Call it a day.
And call it a day. I
Yep.
can't. You're fighting City Hall or whatever you want to call it, but it's impossible. It's terrible. It's sad.
Yeah, it is hard. Yeah. So if you guys remember, that is one of the kittens we rescued. My rental house. They left a mama cat and 3. He was tiny when we rescued him. I don't know how they were alive in the house with no food or water. And so that is one of them. They are not babies anymore. Marcia says Seller Hub marketing subscriber discounts. And then somebody asked how Honey is, the blind cat that we rescued. He is fine. He has been getting in trouble attacking the other cats in the house. And Brad puts him in timeout. He puts him in Dalton's room because he is being a little rotten. He wants him to play with him, and I'm not getting another cat just to have a cat to play with him. But our older cats want nothing to do with him. All right, let's see. Teacher Treasure Chest, how many of you use PayPal to pay for your shipping labels, to get credit card points? And are there any disadvantages to this method?
I'm still on PayPal because I actually went there and I had like $1,300. I'm going, what's going on? I had some other stuff that was flowing through there. I'm going, what? But yes, I still do that, and then it automatically, when it runs out, it defaults back to the payment version from eBay. But I still do that, which I don't know why. But I have some other things that show up in there, so that just uses that money.
I don't use PayPal, and I have a separate bank account that I have all my reselling stuff go through, and so I don't know if I'd want to use my personal credit card and mix things up.
Yeah, I don't use a credit card though.
I might have to get, I don't know, business credit card or something, but I feel like would it be worth it then? So yeah, I just have everything go through bank account.
So I would say if you do have a business and you don't have a rewards card, you're missing out.
Yeah.
So I use my Amex Hilton card on my eBay, and I pay for all my shipping labels through my PayPal, which has my Amex card hooked up. And if you guys don't know, eBay's going to do away with Amex. You can't pay with American Express coming, was it in August, I think?
Yeah.
August 17th.
Yeah, I saw that article because Amex charges them too many fees.
Ironic.
eBay.
I know.
Imagine
Ironic. So, but going back to that, so what I do is even when they no longer accept American Express, you can still pay through PayPal. Just put your American Express as your main form of payment, and you will have no problem doing that. But I will tell you guys this. Last year, in 2023, me and my wife got married, and we did an 8-day trip through Spain. We did Barcelona, Spain. We did Florence, Italy, and Rome, Italy. And my entire trip, all my hotels were covered because I use all my bonus points from my rewards card from my eBay shipping labels. And that's free money, guys, because the buyer's giving you the money for shipping, and all you're doing is buying a shipping label with your credit card, and then you just have to make sure you're disciplined. That's the only thing I would say is, so if you get paid out once a week, that Tuesday when you get paid out, go on your credit card account and make a payment for the previous week. That way you never owe your credit card money on that. You're making a payment each week on that, and you're disciplined, and you're getting free points. You can get cash back, get hotels, and being a picker like me, who loves to travel and go picking, especially all these highway sales, I now can stay for free and go picking or make picking trips. So I highly recommend that you guys do that. And if you guys do have a business account, send me an email, and I will send you a referral link. It gets you like 20,000 or 50,000 points.
Yeah,
there you go. So
my wife does it. That's the one thing my wife does. I am completely, when it comes away from the money, she does. That's her one thing. Pay it, just get it done, and and the points add up and all that.
It's called leverage credit, man. That's the best way to do it. That's how people become millionaires.
I tried to get mine on the credit card, and I could not for some reason. So I haven't been able to. And I don't know why. So mine's coming out of my funds, but I don't see any. I want to. I need to try it again. For some reason, it wouldn't. I couldn't get it to go. It was really weird. I had it like as PayPal my default to the business card, and I don't remember what even happened. I need to try again because it's been a while since I did that.
Yeah, you have to go on your PayPal. We'll talk after the show, but you have to go on your PayPal.
No,
make
I
your
know how to
account.
like set the default, but it was like something on eBay's end. It was really weird. Like it wasn't like processing. I don't know. It was very, very strange. Ari says, if I select sell similar on eBay, does it have any sort of effect on the algorithm? Should I do listings from scratch?
I don't think so. I can just go off of what I've done. I sell a lot of stuff, and I snipe other people's ads all the time. You just got to make sure that you watch the item specifics, make sure they're correct, especially with golf clubs and things like that. But selling similar, that's a little bit different. But I just did. I sell similar off my own item, and then I'll just hit sell similar, hit sell similar. There might be one thing that's different, but I don't think it has an effect that I know of. At least I've never felt it.
Yeah, I mean, I would think from eBay's perspective, why would they want there to be a difference?
Yeah.
If you, yeah. So I sell similar when, I guess I don't always do it because sometimes I want to input the things myself so I don't have to be as cautious of making sure I'm not missing something that they changed. But I do use sell similar a decent amount.
Yeah, so I always do sell similar for items from sold comp. So I don't do like current listings. And part of the reason I do that is because if these items are selling, and I always sort from like highest to lowest to kind of see what the top ones are selling and how they word it. Because it's one of those things, if it's not broken, why fix it? If this has worked in the past, why not just, pretty much almost copy that same title, maybe make minor changes to it, whatever I got to do, and do sell similar. Plus, it saves you time, so you can list more.
Yeah, and I use all sell similar, and I wanted to get this one up. Where did this question go? Because it has to do with this. Where did it go? Hold on. Guys, I just put in the chat, like we have 21 questions in line. We're probably going to get to 2 more. That's why I always tell you guys to get them in early. Like we're answering questions right now from 8:30 that were put in. So a lot of times we don't make it past 9. So if you ask that second hour, chances are we're probably not going to get to it. Where did this, why
ask.
can I not? Yeah, still ask, but because sometimes we get through all of them. It just depends on how many questions are asked. So Rhoda's asking, when is my List Perfectly video coming out? She's on the pro plan and doesn't know how to do the new things. So I was going to do it this weekend, but they let me know sometime this week they're coming out with the complete AI listing. So right now, and I used it actually yesterday, it will only generate the title for you. It won't generate the specifics or the description. So I am waiting for like the whole package to come out because I don't want to make a video and then have to remake it a week later. So since it's so close to coming out, my plan is to do it hopefully this Sunday. They've told me it's coming out this week. I don't know exactly when. So hopefully it will be out next week. I hope. And then I'll show you all of the fancy things. It is there, but they are adding even more to make it better. So I'm waiting because I don't want it to update and then I am behind on the times. Like a week later, my video is like null and void. Lisa said, how do you handle a return on Poshmark? I'm an eBay seller new to Poshmark. The buyer is claiming the bionic sandals I sold her are not authentic.
I am not on Poshmark, so I have no idea.
So I am on Poshmark.
You do.
Yeah, so on Poshmark, that you can respond to the person and all the messages will be read by the Poshmark team that's reviewing the case. So if you have specific things you want to make sure that Poshmark knows when they're deciding whether to approve or deny the case, you can put it in the chat. And then the nice thing about Poshmark is that if they do approve it, they pay for the, well, I think this is true. I haven't had a case in a minute, but they, Poshmark pays for the shipping for the person to ship it back.
Yeah, they still do.
Yeah, so then you're not out anything other than that you have to relist it and resell it. But I guess when I do have cases on Poshmark, it doesn't hurt as much because I know that Poshmark will cover the shipping cost. And yeah, but yeah, you can respond in the chat and then you just have to wait for a Poshmark employee to review the case and either approve or deny it.
She gave a better answer than I would. So
Yeah.
what she said.
Yeah, and in my experience, Posh is almost like eBay. Like they're gonna either approve or deny no matter what I say, I feel like. But like in that case, if you had bought the Bionics from a shoe store, you could include a picture of the receipt. Typically, if it's something that was disclosed in the listing, not for this case, but if like there was a defect and I noted it and took a picture, Poshmark will not side with them. They'll side with me as long as like whatever issue they have, I disclose. But at least they pay the return. So I would just, you aren't going to have a choice if they decide to let them send it back, I guess is what I'm saying. But at least you don't have to pay for it and you can just relist it when it comes back. That one we got. Let's see. All right. One more question we have time for. Eeny, meeny, miny. I'm trying to look. I don't know. Here.
You got one?
You're a new seller. I don't even know why I picked this one. I just grabbed it. When you're a new seller on Whatnot, what should your strategy be with giveaways? I've had a couple shows where I spent more in shipping on giveaways than what I made.
Good question.
Yep. And there it is. I'm not a Whatnot person. I have looked at Whatnot. I am eBay, Amazon, and a smidge of Mercari. So I am not a Whatnot. So I'll have to pass.
I'm not a seller. I am a buyer, both to resell and for myself. I'm trying to think from my perspective.
Yeah. So give us your perspective as a buyer, though. What do you think of giveaways?
A lot of the time, I don't even know what they're giving away. Like a lot of the shows I watch, I feel like they're just, I started a giveaway and I'm like, what am I even getting? I don't know. And I just click it, but it doesn't
It's free. We want it.
Well,
it doesn't influence whether I stay or not because I don't know what they're giving away. But there have been shows where maybe they're giving away $10 gift card or something. And then I will like keep the show on because I'm like, well, and it also depends how many people are in the show. Cause I'm like, what are the odds I actually get it? Is it worth my time to stay in the show? But yeah, I'd say a lot of the time, I don't even know what they're giving away at this point. Cause a lot of people just run another one. And I don't even know what they're giving away.
I think some of them don't know when they started either. They picked it after the fact.
That's true.
I definitely get that feeling from some of them too.
For me, when I first started, I did a ton of giveaways because, when I did my giveaway, you have to follow me, when you do a giveaway. So for me, it was almost like paying for followers is the cost of doing business, advertising. So I was pretty much advertising to get people to follow my store on there and do stuff. So normally I was doing like at least five giveaways a show, and which I found out later on, just like, as you're saying, it gets expensive because if I'm paying for each one of those items, so what I learned as doing it, I always do a giveaway to start off because I want people there. It takes 5 minutes to do the giveaway. So you want people in the very beginning. So I do a giveaway always to start off my show because people, when I go live, people might take 2, 3, 4 minutes to get in there. And I just showcase what I'm showing, show off my items I'm selling. And then as I keep an eye on my audience, and if I start seeing my audience start to dip a little bit, I'll do another giveaway, and that usually boosts up, but people come in for the giveaway. Another strategy is you can do a buyer's appreciation where you only do a giveaway for people that bought something from your show, and that's usually like a bigger item, and that's where you can showcase or promote your show to get people to stay there later on. But one thing I learned now is that if someone's already bought something from me, I'm not really paying anything additional for shipping if I'm doing a giveaway. So before I was doing a giveaway, and then like maybe a
buyers only giveaway.
Buyers only. Yeah.
So I would wait to do it. I do a giveaway, and now I wait till like 20, 30 items in before I do another giveaway of my shows, because most likely someone's already bought something from me is going to win that giveaway, and that's just going to be added to the order, and I'm not paying any additional money out of my pocket for shipping. So I usually try to spread those out now throughout my shows. I may do 3 or 4 giveaways, but I'll do one in the beginning and then wait. Maybe I sold 15, 20 items before I do another giveaway. Just the fact that it reduces the odds of me paying money to ship that item. So I'm strategic with it.
Yeah, so I would say figure it as like an advertising expense to get those followers. When I first started doing Whatnot, we were doing 5 giveaways a show. now the most I do, well, I won't say the most. On average, I do 2 giveaways, one at the beginning, one at the end. I do show what they are. But if I get a big raid, I will find another giveaway because I want to grab all those people that just raided me as followers. And then I also will do shows with no giveaways. I do have, I don't even know, probably 12,000 followers on Whatnot or so. So I have quite a few. And I will also say, if you want to do buyers only, you have to set it up before the show starts or it doesn't function properly. And I don't know. I went back and forth on that because some people were reporting to me that they bought stuff and it wouldn't let them enter. And so I stopped using that feature. Yeah, well, so it can still hurt. I would also say your giveaways should be very lightweight items. I would recommend that. Like I would do 4 ounces or less. Do really light. My Whatnot sales are in the trash right now. So I haven't been doing a ton of sales again. It's such a roller coaster. And I find like I took a 6-month break, came back. It was doing excellent for a while and now it's tanked again. So it's really up and down.
I think you made a good point though, Kat. Like always so what I always tell people is always preload some giveaways in there. You don't have to do all those giveaways, but like Kat said, if someone raids you, like you could be a brand new seller and someone could, like Kat's done this. I've seen Kat do this a ton of times. She'll go bless someone who's a brand new seller in there, or maybe has 5 or 10 people in their show. She's never spoke to this person before. You've gone in there and just rated someone randomly. And if she brings,
we still do that.
Yeah. If you had 75, 100 people come raid you, and then you're scrambling to find a giveaway to do at that point in time, you may have lost 20, 30% of that audience that you could have gotten. So always have your giveaways preloaded. You don't have to run through all your giveaways, but I always recommend, because someone comes in there, do a raid, do a giveaway within the first 5-10 seconds.
Yeah, and I want to so she's saying it's hard when you only have 6 people. I will tell you, I have seen people make more money than I make with 6 people in their show compared to my 50. It really does not matter the quantity if you have quality buyers. All you need is 2 people to want something. And I'm bringing this up, like you guys might see how many sales I make, but I'll tell you my last 2 Whatnot Sterling shows, I lost money. I made 0 profit. I lost money. Because of where I started stuff at. But for me, I'm handpicking select pieces out of lots to put on eBay that will pay for those lots. They haven't yet. And then I'm putting the rest on Whatnot below my cost. Just because it's stuff I don't think will sell well on the eBay platform. Yes, Marcia makes a good point. If you're doing the giveaways, make sure they have to follow you. Otherwise, it kind of negates the point to me. Right. Because if I'm going to give them something free, I want them to follow me. But yeah, so.
I have one question for Kat real quick. Has Whatnot lost its luster over time? It seemed to be so red hot. I don't know. I'm just curious.
110% for me. Yes. And that's because I think it's gotten saturated for me. I'll tell you, I see other sellers that have like way, way, way more followers than me. I go in, they have less than 100 in their audience, where 6 months ago they would have 300 and 400 in their audience. Okay. So for me, I was having like 100 in my audience, and now I average about 30 to 35. So for me, again, it's moving stuff, but sometimes the stuff doesn't even move, and I'm not sure. Knickknacks for me has been really hit or miss. I was doing the jewelry train. I did opt out of that for June because it's summer and Dalton and I are going to baseball games, and I just didn't want to commit to every Wednesday on knickknacks. And sometimes I do absolutely, it's any live sale. Like you don't, that's what for me can be frustrating is live selling. I feel like is so unpredictable, right? You don't know who's going to be in the audience. You really have no clue when you're going in. So if you're started at the lowest you're willing to take. So I'm saying I lost money, but I was willing to. I knew what I was starting my stuff at. I again, I have higher dollar items I pulled out. I do leave some in. And knickknacks. Yeah. So Gina said, guys, I put stuff that's worth $50, $60, up to $100 for a $10 start. There is profit there. It's just stuff that I feel like is going to be longer tail that I would rather just move it fast and list a few select pieces on my eBay. But knickknacks, it was crazy because we do Shop the Shed, and that was going great for 3 weeks, and then it bottomed out on both knickknacks and whatnot. And I can't figure it out. Maybe some people have, I cannot. And then we also, like, I sold more high dollar jewelry on knickknacks during Shop the Shed when I'm advertising that I'm selling stuff, hard goods. And I'm like, oh, here's some higher dollar jewelry, and it sells that I couldn't sell in a jewelry show. So that's why I said I feel like it's just really, really unpredictable, and not everybody feels like that. Rod might have a different opinion on that.
So I would say the amount of people in my shows, I agree with Kat, have declined. Whatnot overall as a company, their sales are up higher now than they ever have, but they also, the barrier of entry has been removed. So that's the biggest thing, Mike, I would say, is like, before you would have to go through, and get approved, go through all this process. Now the approval process is within minutes. Before you had to sign up, go through all these different steps.
I heard.
So now a lot more people can be on there and selling. Do I still think live selling is a big part of the future? 100%. I think eBay's dropped the ball tremendously. I mean, they've had live selling for 2 years now, and they have yet to roll it out to the general public. But the fact that I can literally take stuff from my Whatnot marketplace and quick move it over to sell Whatnot is a game changer for me. Quick way for me to move it. So I believe in a hybrid model where I'm doing a lot of static sales like on eBay and putting stuff up there, but doing live sales once or twice a week just keeps the cash flow in there and keeps items going in and out that I want a quick move. And I've been putting up higher end items in my auctions, and I'll do okay. Sometimes I'll get 60%, sometimes I'll get 80% of value, but it comes down to what my buy cost is. If I'm buying super low, it doesn't really matter. I'm just taking less profit. So that's
a hard thing with the jewelry. Like, to get those higher value items, I have to pay more per item, so my cost is more into each. But I want to make sure there's still value. Like, a lot of them, again, are worth like $50. But overall, I'm losing money, which is why I stopped doing it last year, because pretty much every show I was losing money. There is onboarding for sellers. They just are approving pretty much everybody. So that's why I think the people are spread out, because there's way more sellers. So you gotta, kind of, and this is where it's hard, because so do you go on every night? So these people are like, oh, she's here every night, so they're going to come. Or are you burning out your buyers and deflating their bank accounts? That's the hard thing for me. So I'm still doing them. I'm not going to step away. It's just, here comes the cat again. I just wish that I could figure it out, but I don't know that there is any figuring it out, because there's more sellers coming on, and then people are willing to sell stuff lower than they should a lot of times, in my opinion. Like, I'm starting sterling at 10, and there are people out there starting it at $1, and it works for them. And sometimes the lower starts work for me. And then I think, oh, okay, we're going to do lower starts. And then it sells way low. And I'm like, oh, what did I just do? And that's on me. I can't be mad at the buyers. I'm the one that decided to start it for $3, But yeah, I agree with Rod. It's definitely a part, but I know people that have left eBay. I definitely would not do that. There's no way. No way.
But there's minimum risk if you do leave. I mean, because you almost did that for a while there, Kat. You're going almost like 6-7 shows a week at one point.
Yeah.
And you can quick go right back to eBay as well. So I don't think it's as much risk as people think. You just have to get all those listings. I mean, cause especially if you're using, this perfectly, you already have all your listings already saved in there. So if you left, took everything down, you can quick jump right back in and put everything back up if you needed to.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Real quick, I'll answer this and then we'll let everybody say bye. That got long-winded. Are the same people coming to my Whatnot shows? Honestly, I'm not seeing the repeat people a lot. I do have probably a core of like 5 to 10 that come to every show, but I'm getting a lot of new buyers, which is what I would prefer. You know, I don't expect the same people to keep buying and buying because most people don't have an unlimited budget, especially for jewelry. So I want new buyers in there. But like now I think there's like almost like 5 to 10 jewelry shows live at all times, probably 24 hours. So it's just super saturated. There might be better categories. But for me, it's just, it's oversaturated. I never know what the heck I'm walking into. You know, I'm like, get all hyped up, and then I go in and there's 20 people and I'm like, well, crap. Even if I stream it to my channel, which you would think would help, it doesn't anymore. I don't know if you guys can tell me in chat, are you tired of seeing it being streamed? Like where people just ignore it now because I stream it all the time. All right, let me put up Mike. He can tell you what he's got going on here. Oh, yes, a lot of people have stopped Whatnot notifications, myself included, and I think they were notifying too much. I think that has affected a lot of us. Here's Mike.
All right, hey everybody, Mike again, Golden State Picker. Catch me on YouTube. I put out about 2 videos a week. We discuss stuff, show my solds and my what I found, that kind of stuff. We talk books, Amazon, FBA. So head over to my YouTube channel at Golden State Picker.
Perfect. Here's Miss Amber.
Hey guys, again, my YouTube channel is Amber Resells. And unfortunately, since having a toddler, I'm extremely inconsistent. But when I do upload, I'm known for having more analytical videos. I like doing experiments and then seeing what the outcome was. I also like pulling data on like what different, for example, I have a series where I pull the top jean brands that are selling at a certain time and then put that together into a video. So yeah, if anything like that sounds good to you. Right now I'm doing a series where I'm trying to get my death pile listed. So I'm posting updates about that. If any of that sounds interesting, again, my YouTube channel is Amber Resells, and thanks for hanging out tonight.
Perfect. Rod, what's going on?
So first and foremost, thanks for these guests coming on. Guys, please do us a favor and subscribe. We talked about building a community, so go subscribe to both their channels. For me, I dropped a brand new video today. We talked about traveling earlier in here, and I went to Virginia. I'm picking the 100-mile sale, and you'll find a lot of different bolos that I never talk about on there, so go check out that video. Tomorrow, I will be dropping a new video on my flipping and punching channel. So go check out the Dalton in the background. Go check out the
there too.
go check out my second channel there. And I'll be live on Whatnot on Wednesday night, and I'm blowing out a massive collection of vintage Disney items. Everything's starting at like $3 or less, and I'm blowing out 50+ items. So if you guys like ephemera, if you guys like brand new vintage items, go check it out.
All right, so I am doing a Whatnot sale Thursday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, $10 start. I'm going to put a preview video out Thursday morning. I might actually do another Whatnot sale tomorrow, just with some that was left over from my last 2 Sterling sales. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I am almost to 93,000 subscribers now, so I'm this close to 100K. I would like the little plaque that I can put somewhere. I don't know where. I'll have to make it a spot. I will have a video out tomorrow on Poshmark sales, and I believe I'll have a catch treasure hunting video out tomorrow as well. So thank you guys, Mike, Amber, for coming on. Rod, next week I'm excited. Buffalo Picker, Tommy is coming on, and D Middleman, who was in the chat, is also coming on with us next week. So super excited about that. And I appreciate all of you watching very, very much. We will see you guys. We're here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we will see you next week. Bye, guys. Tell them bye.
Adios. Bye.